We are back to take another look at the Giants' positional previews. Today, it will be the running backs. I'm Paul Dottino, along with Super Bowl 42 champion punter Jeff Feagles. So glad you could join us. And Jeff, whenever you talk about the Giants running backs, that conversation has to start with one Saquon Barkley, a guy who as a rookie had 2,000 total yards from scrimmage and last year fought through a bit of an injury.
Yeah, and that was a big thing, Paul. Last year, he tried to do everything he could to get back on that field, and he did. And you could just tell that Saquon last year was just beat up the whole season. So we've seen things on all kinds of media stuff about Saquon. You see him running around, jumping. It looks like he's very healthy. Looking forward to a really good season with him because what he did in his rookie year was pretty phenomenal.
Now, taking a look at what Ezekiel Elliott did for the Dallas Cowboys, and obviously they leaned heavily on him and the ground attack when Jason Garrett was their head coach. Now we know Garrett's the offensive coordinator for the Giants. I think you can expect Barkley to touch the ball another 4 or 5, maybe even 6 times a game over what he did over his first 2 seasons. So I ask you, when you look at Tiki Barber's all-time Giants single-season record of over 2,300 yards from scrimmage, is that number in jeopardy this year?
That sounds like a good over-under question. I think it could be because I really believe that the previous staff, in my opinion, didn't use him enough in the passing game as more that Jason Garrett is going to use him in the passing game now because I feel like he was underutilized. And I think that this year you will see him get the football not only on third downs but on first, second downs in the passing game. So, yeah, Paul, that number could get there. And listen, if he does, the Giants will be very successful because of it.
Well, the Giants don't know right now who the 2 and 3rd and 4th running backs will be on the depth chart. So let's start to explore those guys for just a second. Dion Lewis comes over as a veteran free agent. We know what he did with the Titans, but we also know that he and Joe Judge know each other from their 3 years together with the New England Patriots. This is a guy who has been a productive runner in his career and has also shown he can catch the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah, and he's a veteran. You know, I mean, listen, Saquon's a veteran too, if you will. I mean, he's only going into his 3rd season. But the fact is that Dion Lewis understands the position. He understands Joe Judge. Plus, listen, if you can get a little bit more out of Dion Lewis, he's also a guy that can catch the football out of the backfield. He can also block. He's a very, very good backup runner. And listen, if something happens with Saquon, you got to feel comfortable in the fact that Dion Lewis may be able to take you through the rest of the season.
Yes, we shouldn't forget that in the 3 years with New England, Lewis averaged nearly 10 carries a game and 5 yards a pop, so he has certainly accomplished something in this league. Now, he's going to have to battle Wayne Gallman, a holdover from Clemson. He's been around for a few years, came onto the scene as a rookie, showed a lot of flashes, but over the last 2 seasons, Jeff, he's only touched the ball a combined, about 115 times. Hasn't had a lot of opportunity.
Right. Well, I think that, last year we were all a little bit perplexed as the fact that we didn't see Wayne Gallman dress out as a healthy scratch for those, few games at the end of the season. We don't know what happened there, but, does anybody really care? I know that Wayne Gallman doesn't. All he cares about is trying to show up and try to make this football team as a running back for the New York Giants, and I think that he will. I think he's a guy that's going to compete. Listen, you can look back at what he did at Clemson. He can score. The guy down in the red zone had so many touchdowns for Clemson. Again, utilization, get him in the right situations, use him where you can be successful. Listen, outside of Saquon Barkley, I'll even put Dion Lewis in this, the rest of this group, it's wide open. It's going to be a great camp battle for all of these running backs.
Well, when you talk about wide open, that gives guys like Jayvon Leake, an undrafted rookie out of Maryland, and, of course, Jonathan Hillman, in his 2nd year back now from Rutgers, an opportunity to maybe edge their way onto the roster.
Well, I like Jayvon Leake. I feel like when they signed him this year, when we were doing all of our draft previews and things like that and just reading up on this young man, what a great talent. I think he's got a shot to squeeze on this roster. It's either going to be Wayne Gallman or him, in my opinion. One other guy that we forgot to really mention, and he is a running back, even though nobody wants to make him a running back, would be Eli Penny, being the fullback in there too. So, but I will tell you, John Hillman, nice job last year. Coming from Rutgers, a guy that's, was a little bit underrated, but he's got a chance to try to squeak on there. And when you look at all of these guys, I look at, you love this guy, Sandro Platzgummer, right? That's your guy. That's that international player that's going to be on the roster this year for the Giants. I don't know if he'll make the team, but it would be interesting to talk to him if we ever get a chance to see him compete too.
Yes, he is an Austrian assignee through the Giants International Player Program.
And thank God he's got an easy name to pronounce, right?
Oh, yeah. You'll have fun with that one. Before we go, you mentioned Elijah Penny a moment ago. How likely do you believe that it will be the Giants will have a fullback on their roster?
I think that there will be, especially Eli Penny. Remember, Eli Penny can also run the football. Even though he is a fullback, the guy can play some running back if you really needed him in a pinch. Again, that word versatility in the National Football League, it only can help you. Multiple positions, being able to be a running back and a fullback for Eli Penny. I think there will be a fullback on the roster. When you look at that tight end class, it's pretty deep too, Paul. They may be able to move one of those guys into the running back position or at the fullback, so that would kick Eli Penny out. But I'm going to go ahead and say he's going to make it.
Well, that'll do it for our look at the Giants running backs. For Jeff Eagles, I'm Paul Dottino. We'll see you next time.